Hello students, today's video is for BBA second year students, and in today's video we will discuss a case study on your BEBL. Dear students, your BEBL subject comprises of different case studies. That is, your unit 5 consists of case study. So at the end of each unit we will discuss the case study. So since we have completed our unit 1, so it is quite necessary for us to go through one typical case study. So today's case study topic is why to support the small and medium-sized business. Which is also popularly known as the SME. SME, small and medium enterprises. So today's case study, as you can see from the board, why to support small and medium-sized business, or SME, that is small and medium enterprises. Dear students, in today's challenging economic scenario, particularly in a country like India, there is always the necessity for a significant study regarding the small and medium-sized enterprises. So the small and medium-sized enterprises always play a very vital role for developing the economic growth of the country. So in order to develop the country's economy, one must carefully understand that particular country's small and medium-sized businesses. Moreover, it is required for underdeveloped economies, developing economies, as well as developed economies. So whatever may be the type of the economy, the small and medium-sized enterprises always play a very significant role, because see, the large-scale organizations have already established themselves. So being an economist, we must not worry for those sectors which have already been developed. Rather than we have to give due importance to those sectors which are very small and medium in nature. It means those are in the process of developing. They are not yet developed. Rather, they can achieve the developed, or they can be converted into a developed unit when they become a large scale business. Just like in your classroom, being a teacher, my focus should be always on those students those are average and below the mark. See, the good students will always perform well. So being a lecturer, we must not worry for those students because we already know that these group of students, since they are very intelligent, so they can easily able to catch whatever we will say to them in the class. But we should ready for those kind of students, those are average students, because only when we can give our best effort to the average, or you can say medium level students, so these students can be converted into very good students. So just like that, in the economy also we must give due importance to the small and medium sized businesses, to the small and medium sized businesses. So the small and medium units play a vital role. We also call it as MSME, that is micro, small and medium enterprises. MSME or SME, both are having the same meaning. So this is quite necessary that the small scale industries in India almost provide employment opportunities. So the first importance of small and medium sized businesses is that these units always provide employment opportunities to the youth of the India or youth of the country. Why India? We can take any countries example. So these small and medium sized enterprises provide, number one, employment opportunities, and if we categorically specify, then 50% of the employment are from these SMEs. 50% of the employees or 50% of the employment are always carried through the small and medium sector enterprises. So these enterprises always play a very vital role so far as employment generation is concerned. Dear students, you should know that in India, being a developing economy, employment always is a major issue. So only when the employment opportunities can easily be solved, then only the economy of India can go well. Unless otherwise our employment is not good, we cannot think for growth and development of the economy. So the employment is the first criteria that the small and medium sector enterprises provide. And 50% of the employment are from the small and medium sector enterprises. It means 50% of the youth are getting the employment or are getting the employment opportunities in the SMEs. Right? Now, these SMEs are always provide various innovative methods, various innovative techniques, so that they can do well as compared to the large scale business organizations, because the large scale business concerns are always, or you may say already established themselves in the industry. It is the SMEs, that is small and medium enterprises, who need to establish themselves in the industry level. So they need to perform well so far as the economic growths are concerned. So we, when judge our economy from the micro level, that is from the from the grassroots level, then our economy may be converted into a developed economy. So it is the first trick. When our small and medium-sized enterprises will grow very largely, then no doubt our economic growth of the country will definitely be improved. So this is the introduction part, you will say, or meaning or the impact of small and medium sector enterprises, or the need for improvement or the need for study the small and medium sized enterprises. Now these SMEs have certain unique features. So the SMEs are having the unique features. The number one is independent entity. See, it is the first characteristics or feature, whatever you may say, since both are having the same meaning. So independent entity. These sectors like SMEs, the SMEs always provide a or an independent entity. It means a single owner constitute the business. Since the size of the business is very small, hence you may say a single owner constitute the business. Independent entity means the separate entity where all the, you may say, ownership is vested in the hands of different individuals. A single owner or a group of owners constitute the ownership. They are very independent in nature. It means they can easily able to take decisions. They can easily do whatever they want. So all these things is there. So independent in nature, in the sense that ownership is always vested in the single individuals. So it is the independent entity, you may say, in that sense, because all the ownership are in one hand. Then the second feature is finance and capital. Under SMEs, the finance and capital are always provided by the owners. Always provided by the owners. That does not mean, or it does not indicate that the owners will not take any kind of loan. There may be banks ownership, or there may be certain banks who may provide different loans. There may be other financial institutions who may also provide loans and advances. But the main capital or the main finance and capital is always provided by, or you may say, a major portion of the capital is always provided by the owners. It's always provided by the owners. Then third feature is managed by the owners. See, the SMEs, that is small and medium-sized businesses, hold a small share in the market. Always hold a small share in the market. For example, suppose 100% is the total market share in the industry, so the percentage of SMEs will be 1%, because they hold very less amount of shares in the industry or in the market, you may say. So one of the unique feature is that the small and medium-sized enterprises always hold a very negligible percentage of shares so far as market is concerned. The reason for this is it is always managed by the owners. Ownership is always in the one hand. Sometimes the owners may act as the auditor. Sometimes the owners may act as managers. Sometimes the owners may act as CEOs, that is Chief Executive Officers. Sometimes the owners may be the directors. In some organization, the owners are also the directors. Then, in case of a, we will say, small business unit, the owners may be the employees. Yes, the owners of the business may be even the employees also. The owners may be even its employees. How this is possible? This is possible where the organization is small in nature. So, in the case of a small business unit, the owners may also act as an employee of the organization. So the managers or the owners each playing different roles. In case of SMEs, there may be managers, there may be CEOs, there may be directors, or even in certain small business units, there may be the employees also. So different role that the owner plays in case of SMEs. This is one of the another unique feature of the small and medium sector enterprises. Next point is local and national market. Local and national market. See, you may say in one sense, since the organization is very small in nature, hence its market will always be local, or in certain cases national. No international market is there in case of SME. I am not trying to say that SMEs, that is small and medium enterprises, cannot opt for international business, but generally speaking, if we take a average of the industries as SMEs, generally they used to make the local and national market. Local market refers to those markets where products are produced and sold in the local market only. Example may be vegetables, flowers, fish, etc., where local market exists in the industry. So when the goods are produced or manufactured and sold in the same place or local place, it is called as a local market. National market refers to when products are manufactured or are being traded within the country For example, Odisha, being a state of India, is purchasing onions from different cities across India. Onion are coming to Odisha from cities like Bangalore, from cities like Nasik, that is in Maharashtra, or even nowadays from the cities like Hyderabad. So these are the three major cities: Bangalore, Nasik, that is in Maharashtra, or Hyderabad are the cities who provide onion to Odisha. Then Odisha is also heavily depending upon West Bengal for purchasing the potatoes. No doubt nowadays, due to the, or after the, you may say, green revolution in cultivation of potato, Odisha is producing almost 60% of the potatoes inside Odisha, but still remaining 40% of the potatoes are still coming from West Bengal, Asansol, West Bengal, that particular side. Similarly, Odisha is also depending upon Punjab for purchasing the wheat. As you know, wheat is very scarce product in Odisha. Nowhere it is being produced, or some scarce places are there where the wheat is being produced. So, when the products, coming to our topic, when the products are generally manufactured, purchased and sold, or in one sentence you may say are traded within the country, that is nothing but called as a national market. Then employees are also local. Generally, what we find in the case of SMEs, the employees are also local. Since these are the small units, hence they cannot afford to pay a high amount of salary to the persons living or working in the organization. Hence, the employees are always local in their nature. This is because since they provide a very less amount of salary, so always the local employees who will prefer the organization. Limited resources. Dear students, in the case of SMEs, the resources of the organization is always limited in nature. You should know that. You will know that the various resources of the organization include your land, labor, capital, and also the entrepreneur. So the different resources may include land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. These all resources are very limited in nature. Why? The answer is, we are discussing the small and medium enterprises. So since the size of the organization is very small in nature, hence its resources is very small in nature or very limited in nature. Land is limited, capital is limited, entrepreneur is also limited, resources are also limited. So being a wise businessman, we must be capable enough to make optimum use of the resources, because only when we make optimum use of the limited resources, then only we can extract more from them. we can extract more from them, and as a result of that, our profitability of the organization will increase. Our profitability will always increase because we are making best use of these limited resources. Best use of these limited resources. So our profitability will always increase, and we may able to reach the top. We may also able to reach the top. Informal management. Sometimes the SMEs provides various informal management system. Various informal management system. It means the manager and employees are work as an informal point of view. There is no formality. It means the employees are ready to do any kind of work that they generally be given because they are working on the informal management system. Next point is flexible. The organization should be, means the SMEs should be very much flexible in nature. Why this is possible? This is possible because these are very small in nature. These are very small in nature, so very less number of employees, very less number of workers, less number of managers are there. So there always exists a flexibility inside the organization. So these are the various characteristics of the small and medium sector enterprises. Now, what is or how the economy will be affected, or what is the impact of the SME in the economy? What is the impact of the SME in the economy? See, the SMEs always put a huge effect in the economy, as I already explained to you in today's starting sentences. So the economy can be well developed only when the SMEs will grow up. For this purpose, we must carefully study, number one, the internal forces of the organization, the internal factors of the organization, or the internal environment, which consists of shareholders, investors, employees, managers, working culture, etc. So we must carefully go through different internal factors that includes your shareholders, investors, stakeholders, staffs, or you may say employees, culture, working culture, because these units are always controllable factors. So one must carefully go through the internal forces of the organization, as well as at the same time we must always go through, or we may always look forward for the external forces also. External forces of the organization include various microeconomic factors such as economic, environment, political, legal, financial, technological, environment, etc. And such factors are always uncontrollable in nature. Since these are external to the SME, hence these factors are not in the control of the managers or the owners. So one must carefully go through for these external factors also, because the external factors always provide a key role so far as development of the SMEs are concerned. Next, you may say another important point is the management structure. Since the management structure of the SMEs are always managed by the owners, so the owners are able to take all kind of decisions that they want, but it may have a negative point also. What is that? Since the owners are taking all such decisions, sometimes it may lead to bad decision making also. It is not always true that whatever the decisions that the owners are taken will be always fruitful. Sometimes it may prove to be wrong, or it may prove to be bad decision making. So these things are there under SME. So one thing we may say that only when the SMEs will grow up, then only the economy of the country will definitely grow. You may say that in the economy, 90% of the SMEs provide more than 50% employment opportunities. 90% of the SME provide more than 50% employment opportunities. So from this sentence, you may understand what is the importance of study of the SME so far as the development of the economy is concerned. Because dear students, only when our employment problem is solved, then only our economy can grow up in a very smooth manner. So the SMEs always put a vital or very important factor so far as development of the economies are concerned. So at the end, while concluding the case study, you may say that it is quite necessary to know or understand the meaning of the small and medium-sized enterprises. It is quite necessary to have a thorough knowledge on the different features or characteristics of the SMEs, why or what are the features that the SMEs generally provide. We must plan for that, or we must study that part. Then we have to study what is the impact of the SME in the economy. We have already discussed in today's video. That is the impact of the small and medium-sized businesses in developing the economy. So this is the end of today's case study. Our topic is why to support small and medium-sized businesses or enterprises. Case study topic is why to support small and medium-sized enterprises. So after the end of the case study, I asked you 5 different questions, and it is your duty to go through the case study in a very detailed manner, and so that you will be able to answer those 5 questions that I have asked you at the end of the case study. That's it for today's video. Thank you.